Hello and welcome to Survey of Management First Summer Session 2022. This is Dr. Dana Clark, and I really do look forward to working with you this term. Uh, I'm going to go over the syllabus here as sort of a class overview. If you have questions or if anything isn't clear, send me an email and we can email back and forth. We can set up a Zoom call if that would help. As I'm going to tell you in the syllabus, I'm usually here in Boone most Thursdays, and if you prefer a face-to-face meeting, we can do that. Right at the top of the syllabus, it says, go here to sign up for the Wall Street Journal, $4 a month for the digital edition. I urge you, this is going to sound weird, but I urge you to make the Wall Street Journal a lifelong habit. Over on the right side of the e-page, you'll see the most read articles. And I urge you to keep abreast of those. A hot article will stay up there for 2 or 3 days, so it's not like 4 or 5 articles a day. But in life, the higher you get in an organization, the more you're going to have to be in social situations, at cocktail parties, dinners, what have you. If you're not a natural extrovert, even if you are, the question becomes, how do you get into the conversation? Well, one way to get into the conversation is to know what people are talking about. And one of the things that people talk about are those articles that are on the right side of the page of the Wall Street Journal, or you can have articles or topics in mind when you go to a dinner or a cocktail party, so you don't feel befuddled or you have that deer in the headlights thing. Another point that I would make is you are going to have to get good at managing money. Your retirement account, you're going to need $2, $3, $4 million. You're going to have to learn how to manage money. Most college students, when they graduate, aren't really too good at that. Reading the Wall Street Journal, the personal finance sections that won't make a lot of sense to you when you first start will make more sense as you read them, and very, very important. So Wall Street Journal, $4 a month for the digital edition. Oh, Lord, please think about doing that. I do welcome you to the class, and we say right off, we want you to do well. At the bottom of the syllabus, we have a section on how to take a test, how to take a quiz, how to sign up for the Wall Street Journal. I've told you at the top, but it's also at the bottom of the syllabus. And then we're going to make a Flipgrid assignment. We want you to introduce yourself to the class. It tells you how to do that. This is Survey of Management. My name is Dana Clark. If you'd like to know more about me, you can go to my LinkedIn page and you can see where I went to school and the consulting jobs that I've done and the organization. I sit on a number of boards, that sort of thing. I give you my office number. I've also given you my cell number. There's students who plug it into their cell phone, and then I get strange calls at 2 in the morning. So please be careful of strange calls. But if you need to talk to me on the phone, the cell is the best number. My office is 4076 Peacock Hall. Yes, we still have a fax machine, and that is my email address. This is the summer 2022 Survey of Management. Again, I'll be in town most Thursdays, but look, would love to meet you if you have a chance. You're going to be formally assigned 4 Wall Street Journal articles this term. I'm going to suggest others, but formally assigned, we have to read and actually do write-ups. And we want to get you in the habit of writing in bullet points, because that's how we write to each other in the business world. So you have 5 bullet points to do a short summary of the article. What were the biggest points made in the article? A bullet point should be no more than 10 words, and complete sentences aren't necessary. Love to see a major keyword at the beginning of each point. If you use more than 10 words, you're going to lose points. So limit those points to 10 words, 4 articles. They'll be assigned on 4 Mondays or before the Mondays. And you'll have until 11:59 p.m. on the following Thursday to submit the write-up. Please don't ask for extensions. You're going to have 4 or 5 days to do it. So it's very important to get into the habit of getting things turned in on time. Let's make that a habit in the class, all right? You should monitor your ASU email accounts for article assignments. I have students that say, well, I only look at my email once or twice a month. In this class, you're going to have to look at your email fairly constantly. We also ask that you read and comment on what other students have written, at least what one other student has done. And we say, please do not copy what other students have written. You don't have to. Reasonable people may disagree. We seem to have lost that in the real world. Reasonable people may disagree. It's perfectly okay to disagree with somebody's thoughts, and we can disagree with somebody's thoughts and attack somebody's thoughts, but we don't attack people personally. Okay, we want you to think and to be original. Again, we strongly urge you to read those most popular articles in the Wall Street Journal. Grade evaluation. So when we, at the end of the term, how do we determine what sort of a grade you're going to get into the class? There are 3 tests in this class. You only get one opportunity when you hit it because you'll take it online, so be ready when you hit the button. Those 3 tests are 50% of the grade. There are 12 quizzes. Again, note you get one opportunity. You'll see in the syllabus that the due dates on those as well. Let's take a minute and take a breath here. The tests and the quizzes are all available day 1. So you can take the tests and the quizzes in advance. What you can't do is miss a due date. If you miss a due date and you send me something, I'm probably not going to let you take the test or the quizzes after the due dates. Well, again, we want you to get into the habit of being punctual, right? Anything that you ask me to do, I have to be totally willing to do for the 31 or 32 other students taking the class. So please get assignments in on time. 25% of your grade will be the Wall Street Journal articles and one interview, all right? So I will assign 4 articles, but I will also suggest other ones. Suggested ones you don't have to read, suggested ones you don't comment on, all right? We ask you to comment on a submission by at least one other student, and that may be used as the write-up grade, your comments on another student's article. So let's not have any of these one-sentence things, gee, I liked your article, or gee, I liked point 2, or something like that. Read what they say and really have a comment on it. Grading numbers. We're supposed to put this in a syllabus. So at the end of the term, once everything is added up, and the system is set up so you should have a pretty good running score of how all this works. It'll be like this. I failed to mention up here and one interview. Wall Street Journal write-ups 4 and one interview. Leslie Platek, with a vice president with the Grandfather Mountain Company, has agreed to do an interview, and the interview will be on Zoom, and it will be accessible to you, so you're not going to have to be at any place at any particular time. That will be the 5-point write-up on that will be due the last day of class. And again, you need to comment on what some other students said. Grandfather Mountain used to be owned by the Morton family. One family owned the whole mountain. When Hugh Morton died, they made a state park out of most of it, but part of what is at Grandfather now is no longer a for-profit company, but a not-for-profit company. And they're doing some very different and exciting things up there. So we're going to listen to Leslie and talk about what all they're doing. Course objectives. This is a management class, and management of organizations works whether you're talking big organizations or little organizations or for-profit or not-for-profit, liberal, conservative, you name it. We feel that there are some universal principles of management. And our role here, no matter what your majoring is to help you successfully manage the organizations that you're working in. Management is really built around 4 functions, and there they are in bullet point 1: planning, organizing, influencing, and controlling. Before you do anything with an organization, you first must have a plan. What is it that we're going to produce? What is it that we're trying to do? What is it that we're trying to accomplish? All right. Once you come up with a plan, you have to configure an organization, organize to accomplish your plan. So we talk about the primacy of planning. You can't really do anything that you have a plan, but then you have to put together an organization to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Think about the Appalachian State football team. What's the plan? The plan is probably to win the conference and go to a big bowl game and win that. So how do we organize the football team? Well, we have an offensive unit and a defensive unit, and then and under that we have subunits like line and linebackers and running backs and wide receivers and all that sort of thing. So we come up with a plan and then we organize. Influencing, we have to get the right people on the bus. We just have to get the right people on the bus. And once we get them on the bus, we have to get them in the right seat in the bus. And then we have to motivate them. All right. So we plan, organize, influence, and then inevitably at the end we have to ask ourselves, well, how did we do? Did we accomplish everything that we wanted to do? And organizations, when they get to this controlling thing, inevitably identify things they could have done better. The football team at the end of the year, how did we do? Did we score points? Were we good on special teams? Were we good on defense? And where could we be better? All right. Our course objectives point to help the managers of tomorrow, that's you, to begin thinking through their own management style. If you think about it, there are some football coaches who are yellers and screamers and some who are quiet and cerebral. There are dozens of different management styles. Everybody has one that's just a little different. The question is, what is yours? How can you effectively and efficiently, the two E's, how can you effectively and efficiently manage an organization, right? Point 3, to demonstrate how managers may operationalize modern management theory. You don't have to think through all the stuff in management because we have all these management thoughts in this book, and there's 2,000 or 3,000 years of thought in the book, 2,000 or 3,000 years of learning in the book. It's already thought through for you. If you will take the time to read it and think about it, then the question becomes, how do you operationalize it? All right, I see the theory. How can I go out into the field and use it? Survey of Management is not a class for management theorists as much as it is for people who are actually going to go out into the field and be managers. All right. Then we want to discuss actual organizational stories that demonstrate important management points. That is why we have the Wall Street Journal. All right, that's why we're going to use that. Moving on, the course is not open to business majors for credit. So if you're a business major, you need to drop this course and take something else. It is, as it says right here, an introduction to traditional and contemporary functions, concerns of management, including the history of management, planning, organizing, and controlling. A big part of management is decision making. All right. Why do we have leaders? There's some people who are just not comfortable making decisions. One of the reasons you have supervisors and managers is you have people there to make decisions. Well, how do you make good ones? Information systems, how do we motivate, communicate, leadership, international management, and increasingly social responsibility in management. Think about all the things that are going on out there. Required reading. The textbook is Certo and Certo Modern Management 15th edition. Usually every 2 years they update this book, but since COVID hit, they have not updated it. So the book, when they update it, they only change 5 or 10% of it, but we don't have that because they haven't updated it. We think the principles are fairly universal, but one of the reasons that we include the Wall Street Journal in this is to keep us current and in real time. These paragraphs here are policies and things that the university require us to put into a syllabus. I urge you to read them, but I'm not going to go over them. All right, we have a class this summer, and it's done in 5 weeks, so that I'm really open and honest with you because we are constrained by 5 weeks. If you took this class in the spring or the fall, you would have 4 tests and 4 more quizzes, and you'd have 2 or 3 more Wall Street Journal article assignments, and you'd have another interview. But because we only have a little under 5 weeks to make this work, we have to compact it and get as much done in that period as we can while being reasonable. So this is what what we've come up with for this class. You can see that most class sessions we have a chapter. So every day you're assigned a chapter. So chapter 1, chapter 5, chapter 17, Thursday, May the 26th, appendix 1, which is a chapter. All right, and then we will make that first Wall Street Journal formal assignment on Thursday, May the 26th. Your Flipgrid assignment is due by 11:59 p.m. on this date. Okay. Now on Monday, May the 30th, it's a state holiday. I was born in Louisiana, and so I have a saying there, laissez le bon temps rouler, and that simply means let the good times roll. So have a good time on May the 30th, but be careful and come back to us healthy. All right. Tuesday, May the 31st, the first 4 quizzes are due on this date. Again, you could take them I would urge you to take them as you read the chapters. All right, as you read the chapters, take the quizzes. All right, but we do have due dates in here to make certain that you've done everything. And then test 1 is due on Wednesday, June the 1st. Again, you can take everything beforehand, you just can't be late. All right. On Thursday, June the 2nd, the first Wall Street Journal write-up is due by 11:59 p.m. Week 3, Chapter 8, Chapter 9, Chapter 10, first 4 quizzes on Thursday, Article 2 is due. All right. Week 4, Test 2 on Monday, May the 13th. Well, I don't want to take a test on a Monday. Well, take it Friday before. All right. But that's when it's due. All right. And more chapters and more Wall Street Journal write-ups due at the end of the week. Week 5 is the last week. Again, Wall Street chapters and Wall Street Journal articles and quizzes and tests. And on Thursday, the interview write-up is due along with the Article 4 write-up. So I can't say this enough. Just don't get behind. Just keep plugging along with it. Now, I have a life experience. I've been doing these online classes for a couple of years now. And I'm going to constantly remind you when things are due. And I would say that 95% of you are going to like the fact that I remind you about due dates so much. 3 or 4% of you are going to say, that's annoying. You've reminded me 5 times to do something. All right, you only need to remind me once. Most people in the world today, most college students need to be reminded 2 or 3 times of something if you want 95% of them to do it. So I apologize. I'm not trying to be annoying. What I am trying to do is help all of you get through with this. Okay. So we're at the bottom of the syllabus, and here is where you go to learn, all right, in fact, how do you take a quiz? How do you take a test? Again, where did you go to the Wall Street Journal? I sent an email out a week before class with this in there, but again, repetition is the key to success. And then how to do your Flipgrid assignment. So there we have it pretty much in a nutshell. We have 5 weeks to get through 3 tests and 12 chapters and 1 interview and 4 Wall Street Journal articles. What have I failed to mention? Is there confusion about anything? We want you to be good managers when you're done. We want you to get into the habit of reading the Wall Street Journal, especially those most read articles over there. We want you to be good to begin thinking about how you're going to manage money. I'm going to end this by saying that in the Wall Street Journal, there are opinion pieces. They tend to be, compared to the New York Times, Washington Post, a little conservative. I was brought up in a family of journalists. My father was a journalism professor at the University of Georgia. My mother was a journalist. They met while working on a newspaper. And I was brought up reading both sides of opinions and knowing that the truth sort of lay somewhere in between. So I read, while I urge you to read the Wall Street Journal every day, if you get to reading those opinion columns, you might think them conservative. I would urge you then to I also read the New York Times every day, and I read the New York Times opinion pieces. Those are very liberal. If you read the New York Times opinion pieces and you read the Wall Street Journal opinion pieces, you'll really get a wide view of opinion with it, and usually the truth truly is somewhere in the middle. All right. Look forward to working with you. If you have questions, get in touch. Let's have a great semester. Take care.